On the Racing Insiders this week, the World Endurance Championship. Audi has a problem. Toyota doesn't care. The Pirelli World Challenge. A new Bentley is coming on board, maybe two of them. The World Touring Car Championship. Citroen dominates, passing everybody. Loeb, wait till you hear what happened to him. We got exclusive interviews with Johnathan Bomarito, Sverre Isachen, Rhys Millen, and Are You Kidding Me? Are you kidding me with this lineup? Next on the Racing Insiders. Welcome back to another edition of the Racing Insiders, the only place in broadcasting where you're going to get sports car content every week. I'm Bill Wood in Los Angeles. Jeff Lepper is on assignment in Florida. This guy gets around more than anybody. Jeff, I'd love to have your frequent flyer mile.
You know, I'm only doing it for the first class upgrades. That's the only reason why I travel so much.
Yeah, you're the guy that I look at and get frustrated with because I can't get those upgrades. Welcome. Let's get on with the show. What a great opener to the World Endurance Championship in the rain in Silverstone. It was a phenomenal show for Toyota. Everyone's looking at the defending champions Audi. Audi crashed out both cars, and Porsche kind of snuck in there on the podium. A great show, Jeff.
Yeah, it really was. It's great to see Toyota, that hybrid, finally doing good. A 1-2 finish for them. The race was called 38 minutes from the end because this heavy rains. I don't know what the rain has to do with sports car racing this year. It happened at Silverstone in the WEC opener. It happened at the opener at St. Petersburg with the Pirelli World Challenge. We got to control this weather, kind of like Toyota controlled the race.
Toyota won the pole, and they went ahead and won the race. The cars won too. They weren't even challenged, and the Porsche was it's strange to hear about them being so quiet. One car didn't finish, the other car kind of muddled through and got on the podium, if you call a podium finish muddling through. But Audi crashed out both cars. That's really strange for them.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic of the Audi team, and I got to think it's because my buddy Alan McNish is not there. You know, he retired last year, but no, it's really a troubling time for Audi with that. That's very uncharacteristic. I doubt we'll see that at any other round this year. Yost will make that happen. Dr. Ulrich says that's uncalled for. It will not happen again, and he's given us his word, so we'll have to pay attention to that all year long.
I always say that when the RH didn't do well in 2011, was 2012 when he showed up, or 2013 when he showed up at Daytona, and suddenly the cars won. You've got to believe that when the old man shows up and starts cracking the whip, everybody listens, and if he says that they're not going to do that again, they're not going to do that again. It's going to be a good show in the World Endurance Championship. Let's go to the Pirelli World Challenge. It's going to be at Barber Motorsports Park. The first time in this season, they're going to be on a natural road course and not between the walls at a street course. I imagine all the drivers are looking forward to this. Are we going to see anybody new that's avoided the walls and is going to come out at Barber, Jeff?
I gotta believe that the FIA GT3 cars in the GT class are gonna do a little bit better this time. You know, the street circuits, they can't use their aero very well on those courses with St. Petersburg and Long Beach. Now that you said it before, we go to that natural road course where the GT3 cars can use their aero. Barber Motorsports Park, an absolute gorgeous facility in Birmingham, Alabama, and that track is a very natural flowing track. Really great transitions. It's really gonna be great for these GT3 cars. I'm gonna have to tune in live at World Challenge TV Saturday and Sunday and see how these FIA GT3 cars, I don't think we're going to see one of the Cadillacs on the top step of the podium.
Slip that little spot in there. I appreciate that, Jeff. But the new car that's going to show up, I don't think it's going to be at Barber, but a headline this past week, the Bentley is going to show up. It's done well at GT3 in Blancpain in Europe, and it's going to show up here in the Pirelli World Challenge with Dyson Racing, Guy Smith, and I understand Butch Leitzinger is also going to drive. The three of them are going to take places in two cars. What have you heard? Anything else?
No, they're going to make their debut with one car at Road America round June 19th through the 21st. That's a great track, I think, to display that car. We'll really get a good baseline on where that car is going to be performance-wise. Road America, long straightaways, high-speed corners, tight corners, big torque track to come off those corners. So it's going to be interesting to see who drives it with only one car. Will it be Chris Dyson, Guy Smith, or Butch Leitzinger? Butch Leitzinger ran a World Challenge before, all the way back in the old Lotus Spree days. So it's going to be great to see him returning back to the Pirelli World Challenge. It's exciting stuff as another entry now, another manufacturer in Pirelli World Challenge with Bentley.
Let me ask you a question. It just came to mind, Jeff. You are part of the Pirelli World Challenge. We've got Bentleys, we've got Ferraris, we've got McLarens, we've got Mercedes, we've got all these high-end cars. They're all diving in. We've got Cadillacs. Where's the Corvettes and the Mustangs and the Camaros and those cars, American cars that are out there? Does the Pirelli World Challenge run the risk? And this is a question that's coming out as I'm asking it. Does it run the risk of setting itself up with too high-end machinery, even though they are factory backed?
Well, remember, Bill, that's the GT category where we let the FIA GT3 cars come in. We have a whole other class that'll be racing at Barber as well with our GTS category, and that's the Camaros, the Mustang, the Porsche Cayman with Jack Baldwin, Andy Lee in his Camaro, Lawson Aschenbach champion in his Camaro, the youngster, the 18-year-old Alec Udell in his Mustang. We've had Lotus Elise's race in that, Nissan 370Z, the Kia Optimas. So the Pirelli World Challenge has the advantage of having all these different cars be able to compete. This will also be the first round for our Touring Car A, and the TCB class, and that's the little subcompacts all the way up to the sport compact cars, all competing. 77 cars so far registered for the first round in all 6 classes of Pirelli World Challenge at Barber Motorsports Park.
The World Touring Car Championship was in France, where the Citroën, all these French names, the Citroën, Sébastien Loeb, and Yvon Muller were there, got a huge crowd, got huge rain. But the Citroën dominated over the weekend, won both rounds. Mueller won round 1, and Jose Maria Lopez, won round 2. Where's Loeb in all of this, Jeff?
Well, I'll tell you what, he actually had a post-qualifying incident, little technical violation on the valve. If the car rolls over, the fuel doesn't come out. So he started last, finished second in the first race, got held up a little bit in the second race, hit a tire barrier, and still finished 6th. He's sitting second in the championship, and we've talked about this before, Bill. Is there anything that this guy can't do?
Now, he can do about anything, including tick off the rest of the drivers. They got to be wondering the same thing. How do you stop this guy unless you just they got a rabbit in marathon races, distance races, but they've got a turtle maybe that they put in front of him and drive him into the tire barriers, but he still finishes 6th. Incredible driver. It's a good series. Follow it. The World Touring Car Championship. It was in France at Paul Ricard Circuit last weekend. Let's go to Johnathan Bomarito in the Tudor United Sports Car Championship with the Viper. That car is super fast, and Bomarito drives it like he stole it from somebody. Let's talk to him exclusively right now.
How do you like being in that big 10-cylinder behemoth that just growls and snarls?
It is pretty extraordinary car. From the outside, it's this big monster that has an amazing presence, but you'd be surprised how refined it is from the driver's standpoint from inside the car.
Isn't really convinced me of that, because it's loud, it's raucous, it's fast, and you've even won a couple of races. Tell me how this thing is refined.
Sure. I mean, just all the work that the engineers have done, the way the car, the suspension setup, how it goes over the bumps is very smooth. And that's what you want, a car that has good platform in the high-speed corners, but is soft and succulent over the bumps and curbs, and we've made big gains there. The transmission shifts like butter. The car, is you feel the G loads, but the steering inputs are effortless and smooth. The car, it's a big car. It's wide, but it doesn't feel big when you're in it. It reacts to every input. So with all those things, it's a very, suitable car and gives you all the feedback from a driver's standpoint.
Johnathan, I was talking to a driver, a week or so ago, and the number of hours that you've raced already in the Tudor United Sports Car Championship probably equals the number of hours you're going to be racing the rest of the year. Is it good to have that behind you?
Yes and no. You know, the first part of the season was pretty brutal for the drivers, the crew, the teams. But we're through that. We coming off of a great result at Sebring, finishing second, and now we have a string of shorter races and finish off the year again with another long one. But you know, the tempo of the race changes now. The mindset changes a little bit. We have our shortest race of the year now coming up with being only...
Let me interrupt you here, because that's the exact thing that I was hinting at. It takes a different mindset to go from a 24 or a 12-hour race to a 2-hour race on a street course with the walls and everything else. You got to almost go from a long-distance runner to be in a boxer's mindset to fight your way to the top of things.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, an hour and 40-minute street race here in Long Beach is just the polar opposite of a 12-hour endurance race like we had at Sebring. So, I mean, from the green flag, it's flat out, you know, not leaving an inch on the table. You know, you're brushing walls. You know, there's just no room. Not only is it flat out because of the duration of the race, there's no room for air here.
The Vipers are getting stronger. They're challenging with every round. They've won a couple of races. It's a new program still, but they're not going to Le Mans this year, huh?
Yeah, I'm unfortunate they did pull the Le Mans program this year. Hopefully they'll come out next year with a full-on assault at Le Mans. We do have Dan Knox competing in Pirelli World Challenge in one of those SRT Viper GT3Rs, so there's still a strong contingent of Vipers in America. We'll see if they can get that new GT3R, and maybe we can do like a Viper Cup again with the GT3R. I think that'd be cool to see.
Yeah, you just want to get a ride in one of them. I know. I can hear you from all the way across the country. Let's switch to the global rallycross. Sverre Isachen, 3-time European rally champion. He's with the Subaru program, and they've done some testing. That car is super fast. It's a new car, one that he talked about here on the Racing Insiders last season. Let's hear from him.
I understand that you're with the Subaru team, Subaru Rallycross, whatever else it is, Subaru Rallycross program. You and Bucky Lasek, you had some new cars. You had them out testing in Atlanta, and the cars are super fast. You're ready for it, and I'm told that you really like them.
I like the car, and we are working hard for this car, and now we have built a car what I have before in Europe. And then we have a proper test on that car now in Atlanta, what you say. But we're still waiting for a new package for engine. But anyway, the car is really fast now already. So I'm looking really forward to these things now.
The changes, were you instrumental in making those changes happen?
Yes, we are building after only what I have told, what we have done for Europe and also for my old car. So I know what we're building, and we're starting from scratch. Then, of course, we can develop step 2 and step 3 for next car. But so we have a basic what I know is good, and that's function, definitely.
Sverre Isachen, I know it's frustrating for you. You're used to winning. You're one of the fastest in the world, 3 consecutive championships. To not win here in the United States must be frustrating. I can kind of see it on your face, but you're ready to win now, aren't you? Is this car ready to win?
I'm born ready for win this year, and this car is fast. And what you say, normally I've been in the top in Europe. I love that, and I hate to lose. But you know, sometimes you need to realize what you have between your hand, and you need to fight what you have. And we tried to take small step last year with the old car, but now we are definitely have a rallycross car. That's the biggest thing for us now, and I feel the feelings in the car is now back in what I want. And I can tell the other guys them need to wash up now, because that's good.
Sverre Isachen, that guy is so fast, 3-time European rallycross champion, and he can't get a break from the judges and just the overall activity here in the global rallycross. He's going to be like Loeb. If he ever gets a victory, he's going to just be impossible to get off the top step of the podium. Another guy that's super fast, former drift champion, just an all-around good driver, one of the fastest, former king of the hill at Pikes Peak. We'll talk to him exclusively, only on the Racing Insiders next.
This segment of the Racing Insiders was brought to you by Go Pro, Be a Hero. Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new Go Racing TV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Welcome back. We've got Rhys Millen, who is the former King of the Hill at Pikes Peak, but he is coming back in the Global Rallycross, bringing Hyundai back, and with him, he's bringing a female into the program. There might be 2 female drivers in the Global Rallycross this year. One of the fastest rally drivers in New Zealand. Let's talk to Rhys.
Having a teammate, period, is significant, but bringing a female into the program, that's a giant leap.
Yeah, it's really exciting to give the opportunity to Emma to be the first female into Global Rallycross Championship to come up from the US or from New Zealand to the US. She was here just 2 weeks ago testing for the first time on US soil. It's an amazing opportunity as a team owner and a fellow Kiwi to give that to her, and she's a perfect fit, perfect choice. I rank her as the #1 female rally driver in the world right now, and her speed showed that in the very short testing time that she had.
You were the teammate. Let's talk about that a little more. I mean, you've been solo for a long while. There have been other guys that have been a part of the deal, but a full teammate, full colors and everything, that's a big change for you, for Rhys Millen.
Yeah, it's something I welcome. I'm 41 years old this year. Yeah, really old, right? Well, I feel old when all these young Red Bull guys are coming up to challenge me, so I have to keep my...
You got to understand that I remember when you were in high school and you'd come over here for the summers, and now you're telling me you're 41, dude. I mean, how do you make me an old man feel?
It's crazy, right? No, not trying to make anyone feel old, just reflecting on my age and watching some of the young Red Bull talent that's coming into the series this year with Mitchell DeLong in the lights. I'm sure he's probably a #1 pick to win the lights championship this year, and then Yanni Wyman as well, also stepping up from winning the lights championship to running a Red Bull supercar. It's going to be an incredible season, but it's also a reflection of where I need to be taking the next business steps. Hiring a teammate, hiring a driver that I can mentor, and then potentially looking in the next 4 to 5 years of stepping out and being a team owner and focusing on the business side of the program.
I like Rhys. His dad, in fact, I worked on a magazine piece with his dad, won a trip to the RAC in England, the Rally Great Britain now. Jeff, what do you think about him being back in the Global Rallycross?
I think it's only good to see Rhys Millen coming back in. We kind of disappeared for a little bit. We didn't see him in rally. We didn't see him anywhere. So I'm glad that he's coming back. But how is Global Rallycross shaping up this year? I mean, absolutely amazing. We talked about at the beginning of the show, Bill, my frequent flyer miles are going to have to be built up even more when I have to go attend all these Global Rallycross events, because that's going to be the place to be.
It's going to be a huge show, and if you can't make it to the event, NBC has said that most of the events are going to be live on NBC except for the Austin round, and I think there's 3 rounds at the end of the season, 2 or 3 rounds at the end of the season that are not going to be live because it's after football season starts. And who wants to compete with the NFL? Certainly not Global Rallycross, but they're going to be, and you're going to be able to watch it on your tablets, on your phones. There's going to be regional coverage of the thing. The NBC Sports is covered in like a blanket. It's going to be an incredible series. Let's just hope the racing matches what Red Bull and NBC are going to be putting into the program.
Are you kidding me?
Welcome back. It's the Racing Insiders. I'm Bill Wood in Los Angeles. Let's go to Jeff right now in Florida on assignment. Jeff, what's on your mind? Are you kidding me? What's happening with you?
Well, I think, are you kidding me, is all these bugs out here in Florida is just absolutely killing me in my hometown of Sneads, Florida. But I got to go with the Pirelli World Challenge. My heart is in that series here at Barber Motorsports Park. How about this? 24 different makes and models across all 6 classes competing this weekend. It truly is Battle of the Brands and Pirelli World Challenge.
It's an incredible show at Long Beach. I think I mentioned last week. I loved it, seeing the show, and the competition is there. It's a really good program. My Are You Kidding Me is Citroen going into the World Touring Car Championship, taking 3 cars, one for Yvonne Mueller, one for Jose Maria Lopez, and one for Sebastian Loeb. And after a couple of openings, a couple of weekends, they're just dominating the championship. What happened to GM and BMW and all these other cars that were out there? Ford has got a little presence in the thing, but how can they let Citroen come in and treat the thing like their own little playground? They're going to win by divine right. They've got great drivers, but come on, guys. Let's give them some competition. Are you kidding me? Get out there. Looking at the racing calendar this week, the Pirelli World Challenge is at Barber Motorsports Park. We talked about it earlier in the season. The first natural road course in the series. 2 major left-hand turns at that course. I love that course, and the museum there is beautiful. It's like, imagine a sculpture garden with the racetrack through it. That's Barber Motorsports Park. And the V8 Supercars also this weekend. That's a great series. The cars are up in the air. They're up in the air more than some Supercross guys. It's an incredible series. Jeff, what are you going to be doing? I know what you're going to be doing, partner. You're going to be working this weekend.
That's right. I got about a 3-hour drive from Sneads, Florida up to Birmingham, Alabama to Barber Motorsports Park. Going to be making that a little bit later today. And I'll be up doing the live call at worldchallengetv.com. And it's going to be a great event. If you're not there, make sure you tune in and watch it all live.
You know, I was listening to it a couple of Sundays ago, the Long Beach round. I'm old enough to remember rotary phones, so when I can call it up on my phone, put it in my Bluetooth, and drive down the street listening to your call on the racetrack, it hit me at a stoplight. I could hold the phone up and watch what was going on. The technology this day is incredible, and all of it is mattering to the Pirelli World Challenge. That's the Racing Insiders for this week. For Jeff Lepper in Florida, going to Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham, I'm Bill Wood in Los Angeles. Want to invite you back next week. It's going to be another great show. Exclusive interviews, information you'll only get on the Racing Insiders. Until then, take care of each other, respect each other. See you next week. Peace.